All right, welcome to wireframe.cc. Up here you can see the URL is https wireframe.cc. You can access this website that allows you to do wireframes for your web pages. So I'm going to go over how to create a basic wireframe and then also how to do a screenshot on a Mac, which will have a different way of doing screenshots than on a PC, but we'll also save this to a link as another option. So a wireframe is basically creating an outline for every single different page of your website. So what you want to do with Wireframe CC is we'll go through the tools real quick. Up here on the navigation bar, we have a undo, we have a redo, we have a copy the selected elements, Control C here, that actually allows you to copy the elements you've selected in your wireframe window. We have a cut option, so you can select elements and cut them. We have the paste option and then also a delete selected elements. So as you create elements, you can copy them, delete them, cut them, paste them, and so on. You can also go ahead and lock selected elements that you've created. And you can also arrange elements that you've selected right here. Select them and then arrange them. And right here we have a line. So if you want to align them left, right, center, here's the option for doing that, but they need to be selected. And then we have our elements of grouping, which allows us to move elements that we've selected by selecting them and then moving them as a group. So when you click on, you have your little crosshairs here. I'm going to go up to the top left and I'm going to create a little shape right here. And this is going to be the location of where I think I'm going to put a logo. And I'm just going to keep it positioned up top left. As you can see, as soon as I created the shape, I have a couple options. I can make a box, I can make a rounded box, I can do a circle, and I have the option for an image, the paragraph, list, headline, text tool, text input, as if you were putting the text from your web page, and then also if you wanted to add an annotation to the actual element you've added. So this is where I really envision a logo going on my web page. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select image. And what it does in the wireframe is it actually crosses out, and you're going to have to define more clearly what the image is in your description for your web page. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select a little highlight down here, and I'm actually going to put a little box here. And as you can see, I get a little different option. I have the box, rounded box, line, slider, if in case you wanted to have a slider in your web page, progress bar, combo box, scroll bar, headline, text, text input. I'm going to go ahead and select the text tool and add some basic text in there. This is some Latin text, which is filler text. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to delete that text, and I'm going to put logo, because this is going to be where I put the logo for my, beneath my logo, I'm going to put the tagline. And I'll just do, we do it best, all right? As though it's a business. And that'll be my logo. My idea is, that's my tagline, we do it best. So now I have location of a logo, where I think where the tagline for the logo is going to go. And the next thing is, maybe I want to have a navigation bar on my website, or I want to have a larger image. So the navigation on this site is going to be horizontal navigation. So I'm going to go and I'm going to select an area right here, draw it all the way out, and this is where I think I'm going to put the navigation for my website. I'm going to go up here, I'm going to select the text tool, and it pre-populates the Latin text. I'm going to hit delete, I'm going to write home, because that's where the home link is going to be. I'll put some spaces. And as you can see, the cool thing about using a wireframe tool like this is it actually allows you to figure out, using this graph tool, how far apart elements are from each other, so that you can plan effectively for where you want to add different elements. So I'll put about, services. So obviously this is a website for a business, contact, and maybe I'll do frequently asked questions, and often known as FAQ. So, but I'll just leave those. So each one of these would technically be a link to a different page with each one of these names. And here I have some options for the formatting. I could underline or change the text color. Say I want to make it, red, or select it. You can do that right here and change it. I'll make it red for the sake of looking at this. That option's right here. I'll select all that text. Maybe I want my navigation bar to stand out. So, and if you notice, if you right click on the text, you just have the option of copy, pasting. Maybe it's an element you're going to have repeated on different pages. That would be an opportunity to kind of copy and paste. And let me show you the align elements real quick. So if I go and I select multiple elements here, that's where it gives me the option to not only add more text, but I also have these features up here where I can copy this whole selection. I can paste a selection. I could delete this whole selection, but I also could select on arrange. And let me select arrange, bring to front, bring forward, send it back, send backward. So I actually, if I put something in front of this or behind it, this would allow me to move this selected of elements before and behind it. So, all right, so let's keep looking at this web page. So this is a sample of our home page. Maybe I want to put a large graphic here. So let me go ahead, and the nice part is I can just simply select, and you see like it's checking as I'm selecting on elements how things are aligned. I'm going to create a large picture here. This could be, maybe I want to have it rotate, maybe I just want to insert a large picture. Let's make it have rounded corners. A little rounded corner. We can learn how to do that in CSS. With HTML, is how to do rounded corners, or you can make rounded corners in Photoshop for your image. But as you can see, this now can be an image. It can be a box that I put text into. I'm going to keep it loaded. I'm just going to go ahead and give it a little logo. I'm going to go down here and give it a little description that it is. Maybe I'll make a box here, and I'll do a box and I'll fill it with some text about. As soon as I hit text, it provides this dummy text. But it's also good that if you have the text for your website already created, that you type it into this box, so that you can start to visualize your idea and how much text that you actually plan on having on your web page. This is filler text, but it would be a good idea to actually include your own text just for the design's sake if you've already created that. Now, so we've added a main image, we've added some text, we've added a navigation bar, a locational logo. If we ever wanted to have a search window, we could put a little search window up in the top, put that right here, and I'll add some text and just write search. And let's make it so that it also, let's stylize a little bit. We'll make it bold. And you can make the text larger and smaller, as you can see. I'm going to keep it bold. I'm going to add another element right above it. Maybe I'll show you how to do that align. So I'm going to go ahead and create this box right here. I want it to have a rounded box. And maybe I don't want it here. And if you notice, it allows me to pull and move. And if I want this box up here, if you notice, now it's over the top of the search. So if I select on this, I need to arrange it. So I'm going to go over to my arrange, and I'm going to send back one. And now that search text is in front of it. And I can also still make the box smaller. So now I have a search box, and I originally had done the text differently. So that's a way of making a search box and arranging elements. So just don't get too frustrated if you start moving some things around and you're noticing you have to move something in front of each other. It's very easy to select and then use the arrange tool. Now, a couple other things I'm going to add is over on the left side here. Maybe I have a long list of links about the main topics on my website. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make one. I'm going to give it rounded corners. And maybe this is going to be a web button. So I'm going to make it a little dark gray. And maybe I'll go back and put some white text over the top, but let me make the web buttons first. So I have this cool button. I don't want to keep making tons of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy and then paste. So I'm going to copy it. I had it selected, and then I'm going to paste. And as you see, every single time I hit paste, it makes another one the exact same. And maybe I want to have like 5 of these along the left side. There we go. And if I want to put some text on these, I can go ahead and I could even take this bar of text right here. Oop. I'm going to edit undo. I didn't want the text to do that. I'm going to space that out. Remember, spacing in web design is very important, having proper white space, understanding where your elements are going to go so that your page looks good. And I'm going to change that font back. So it's important to kind of learn the tools and how you're going to do it. So what I want to do now is I want to add some text. And looks like I'm going to have to do a little text box again. Text. And I'll do a little text that says favorites. And this could be, you know, you could do this on any single site. And I want to make the color white. I'm going to move it up into the button. Very hard to see right now. I'm hoping that when I change this color to white, as you can see, I made it white and I moved it. It was created on top. So that's how you would create some text and put it on that button. So what you could do is create a series of buttons here about other places in the web page, maybe a sub navigation off your main navigation. And also think about, I'll do one small different type of window down here. I don't want to make it too busy. Maybe this could be a window where we actually just do include regular text, and then how to align text. Here is aligning the text, and you have the align text. Maybe I want that centered, or maybe I wanted it like a list. So here you have a lot of different options, and this is just a sample of how you could do. And also think about if you wanted to do text inside this window. But this is just an overview of how to use this tool. We went over the navigation bar at the top of this site. I could go ahead and lock this design right now. I can go ahead and lock all the elements if I wanted to keep them safe, and lock it. And all those elements are kind of locked together now. But you can see still moving forward. That's if you want to add something while you're locking other items. Let's go ahead and hit save. And what you notice when you hit save is it creates a little URL right here, a new one. And this one's 60SYWI. So I'm going to copy this. And now I paste this in a new browser window. It's going to take me right back to my design. Now that's one way to save it. But another way to save it is also to do a print screen on a PC, or I'm on a Mac here, so I'm going to hit Shift Command 4. And Shift Command 4 allows me to actually take a screenshot. And now I have that photo on my desktop. And I'll open that up real quick. And that's a good way of backing it up and having this, screenshot of your page. And I would recommend doing as much detail as you can and doing as many of these for every page of your website, and doing a great job just planning. And then if you need to go back and change it, you can. But also keep track of the links that you have, and also take screenshots so you can remember what it looked like. Just some other features here is that you can go into settings and you can snap to grid, show columns. You can increase the size of the grid so that the elements, maybe you want a little larger squares. You could also change the default color to transparent, or put your own hex color in, which is kind of cool, especially if you're familiar with hex colors. You can change the canvas size here, so if you want the size of the window to be different. And you can also do graph paper or dots. So I'm just going to click out of here. Let's quickly show you an annotation. So up here in the options, we have the undo, control, copy, cut, paste, X, lock, arrange, align, and here's our annotation. Oh, that's our group. Over here is our annotations tool. Let me find out where our annotation is. I'm wondering if annotation is a paid feature. Range, align.